Ravnica City of Guilds, a set and block in Magic the Gathering with some of the most interesting and dynamic flavor. Welcome to part 1 of a 2-part series where we explore all the legends from Ravnica City of Guilds, talk about each of them as commanders, tell you how to build them and where else they fit. If you want more commander information than you can shake a stick at, you've come to the right place. Also, be sure to click on the first link in the description for free entry to our giveaway running right now. You can win a Mana Crypt Foil Breeding Pool Expedition or a Foil Mana Crypt. All you have to do is subscribe to some amazing channels, so check them out. Without further ado, let's explore some commander goodness. Circu, Dimir, Lobotomis is 2 of anything, 1 blue and 1 black for a 2/3 legendary creature human wizard. Whenever you cast a blue spell, exile the top card of target library. Whenever you cast a black spell, exile the top card of target library. Your opponents can't cast non-land cards with the same name as a card exiled with Circu. So from first glance, it's pretty clear that Circu falls into the Dimir trap of being a mill commander. It is a bit awkward because that last ability takes advantage of multiple copies of the same card in a deck, which isn't exactly what we're looking to do. The only upside to that ability for us is, let's say we exile Soul Ring from someone. Then everyone else at the table can play their Soul Rings. So basically Circu destroys staples with that last ability, or at worst makes same color decks awkward in multiplayer games. Since we're so obviously a mill deck, we get to run some pretty on-the-nose cards, not really trying to hide anything. Take most of Lantern Control and stick it right into this deck. That's a great way to start. Lantern itself, the Bell, Codex Shredder, really any artifact that mills over time. Then, because Circu exiles a card separately for blue and black spells, you play blue-black spells. That's double dipping right there. I'm talking Ashiok, Consuming Aberration, Mind Grind, Phoenix. We're looking at Dimir cards. Do you really think there's a shortage of them? The way this deck gets built, just surround all these powerful mill cards with solid support spells you know and love, add in some spice like Nemesis of Reason, Psychic Drain, Lord of the Void, and Raven Guildmaster, then you pretty much have your mill deck. Just remember that Circu, while not all that powerful by itself, will put the spotlight right on you, as it might lock your opponents out of playing commander staples. They will not enjoy that, so be wary. If you want to run Circu but don't want it as your commander, you're honestly better off. While Circu can be powerful, you're better off running Phoenix, or Mirko Vosk, or even something like Rexiel. There are a plethora of Dimir mill options, believe it or not, so you won't be hard-pressed to find something you enjoy. If you do insist on running Circu, again, you can just be prepared to make everyone at the table real annoyed when you exile a Lightning Greaves, and now no one can play it. Don't say I didn't warn you. Sisters of Stone Death is 4 of anything, 2 black and 2 green for a 7/5 legendary creature Gorgon. You can pay 1 green and target creature blocks the Sisters this turn if able. You can also pay 1 black and 1 green and exile target creature blocking or blocked by the Sisters. And you can pay 3 mana and put a creature card exiled with the Sisters onto the battlefield under your control. The Sisters of Stone Death is a truly, truly brutal legendary creature, and you can see why. All of its synergy is right there in front of you. You force something to block it, you kill whatever is blocking it, then you bring it back whenever you need it. Sisters of Stone Death simply collect souls, one of the more powerful Gorgon creatures ever printed. If you want to build a Sisters deck, you absolutely can. Thanks to being Golgari, you have your framework already in place. Sisters usually leads a black-green control-based deck with solid recursion and a ton of ramp. It's looking to play giant terrifying creatures that oppress the opponent while Sisters attacks them on a turn-by-turn basis. Between Hythonia the Cruel, Zathrid Gorgon, Visara the Dreadful, and Vraska the Unseen, it's pretty clear what's going on here. The best part about Sisters is that it ends up being as close to a prison strategy as black-green is going to get. The number of ways you make yourself unattractive as a target is simply astounding. We're talking archetype of finality, no one's attacking into that. Pharika if you don't have the archetype, Hornet Queen if you don't have either of those, and if all else fails, you're running so many cards like Gaze of Granite, it's just disturbing. Don't get me wrong, most black-green decks look to kill a lot of stuff, but this one in particular, it kills more than most. If you see a Sisters of Stone Death leading an army, just know that your creatures will never survive. Sisters has a pretty unique ability, so it isn't ran in many other decks, but if you want to, you can include it in Marin or Savra if you want to sacrifice your opponent's creatures for fun, or Gerard, same reason, or if you're playing Sultai Gorgons and Damia as your commander. Sisters fits in other places, she's just so cruel and intimidating that it's a shame whenever she isn't leading the pack herself. Raria, Boros, Arcangel is 4 of anything, 2 red and 2 white for a 6/3 legendary creature angel with flying, vigilance, and haste. You can tap it and the next 3 damage that would be dealt to target creature you control this turn is dealt to another target creature instead. Say hello to one of the least played Angel commanders you've ever seen. While Raria has a crazy strong ability that can absolutely win you games, and she's gigantic to boot, she simply hasn't garnered enough attention from the Angel community. Now, if you're going to run her because you love Boros Archangels, which I can't blame you for, you're basically replacing an existing Boros Angel with her, which means you have a lot to work with. Raria is designed for attacking well and preventing damage well, so you want a combat-oriented deck. Think Boros Reckoner, Firemane Avenger, Angelic Skirmisher, Arcangel of Thune. You have enough big creatures to fly over the top of most strategies. The key is to getting those creatures out early. Where we need to focus are the support spells. Angel decks are great at having top-end strength, but we need that structural support. Include Herald of War, Burnished Heart, Boros Charm, Luminarch Ascension. You don't want to sit around doing nothing for 6 turns until you get a powerful Angel out, so for the first few turns of the game, you have to be a control deck, so act like it. What's probably going to happen is this. You'll play little to no creatures in the beginning of the game, and by the time you have the mana to run wild, you'll drop a Wrath of God, or Bright Flame, or Hallowed Burial, or Final Judgment. Then, when the way is clear, you drop your huge baller Angel. That's Boros Angels for you. If you've considered running Raria before, I'm sure you've heard what I'm about to tell you. She's a much better piece of the 99 than she is a commander herself. While her ability is strong, it isn't nearly as impactful as, say, Gisela, or Aurelia, or even Kalia or Tariel. Unfortunately, Raria is competing with the most powerful angels in the history of Magic, and unfortunately, she simply doesn't compare. So again, you can build a Raria deck, by all means, go nuts, enjoy the card, but she is best suited for one of these powerful commanders. Chorus of the Conclave is 4 of anything, 2 green and 2 white for a 3/8 legendary creature Dryad with Forest Walk. As an additional cost to cast creature spells, you may pay any amount of mana. If you do, that creature enters the battlefield with that many additional +1/+1 counters on it. We're in Selesnya now, boys and girls. Chorus of the Conclave is a pretty infamous card. A ton of mana for a giant butt, Forest Walk, and one of the easiest +1/+1 counter triggers in the game. You know what that means. We're running a ton of ramp, a ton of +1/+1 shenanigans, and beating down like there's no tomorrow. While Chorus is expensive and won't get onto the battlefield early, we're in Selesnya. The 2 colors that adore +1/+1 counters, we're gonna be alright. Let's take a look at what we're working with. We're going to begin with solid ramp spells because if the chorus tells us anything, it's that we need more mana all of the time. I'm talking everything from Cultivate to Birds of Paradise to Boundless Realms to Viridian Joiner. A decent amount of this deck has to be ramp or we'll never get off the ground. We could go even crazier in that area. Selvala Heart of the Wild's perfect. Cards like Yavimaya Dryad, Yavimaya Elder, even Keeper of Progenitus. We need more mana. That's our priority number 1. After we get all of our mana, things can get a little bit nutty. We can start generating +1/+1 counters, which means we're going to need staples like Forgotten Ancient, anything with Outlast, Colonian Hydra, Vigor. There are a ton of +1/+1 counter creatures that would go in this deck, and we'd be here forever going over all of them, but I think you get the picture. Then, after all that's said and done, all you need are the cards that care about +1/+1 counters. The synergistic cards, the rewards. Some of those are in the form of creatures that make the counter situation even more ridiculous. Think Juniper Order Ranger, Enduring Scale Lord, Bloodspore Thrynax, and Mikaeus the Lunarch. All of these creatures assist in piling on +1/+1 counters once you've got your engine going. It's about snowballing the counters because once you do, the deck really gets to shine. I'm talking Hangerback Walker, Triskelion, Edged Oracle, a bunch of creatures that get excessive +1/+1 counters that basically wipe the entire table out with them. Or instead of throwing the counters at effects, you could utilize the massive power and toughness you have at your disposal with Overwhelming Stampede, or Triumph of the Hordes if you want to kill the entire table in 2 seconds. Regardless, Chorus has a lot of support behind it. I think I've made that clear enough. Now, Chorus of the Conclave is a much more popular 99 include than a commander despite his powerful ability. The problem is that if players want to play a deck with a huge butt, they look to Doran. If they want to ramp like crazy, they look to Karametra. And since Chorus doesn't exactly support token strategies, Tristani and Riz don't even include it all that often. But all of these commanders, these don't represent the real issue. These 2 do. Atraxa Praetor's Voice and Gave Guru of Spores. These are the quintessential +1/+1 counter commanders. Most players who want to play a white-green based +1/+1 counter deck eventually get to Atraxa or Gave. But if you are intent on staying white-green and not including blue or black no matter what, Chorus is a pretty decent call. Enjoy your counter shenanigans. And that's going to do it for the first part of our two-part Commander Spotlight, looking at all the legendary creatures in Ravnica City of Guilds. What do you think? Introduced to a new commander you didn't know about? Any of these cards tickle your fancy? Be sure to let me know what you're thinking in the comments, and I'd love to chat with you about it. Commander is a great format, and I think these commanders bring out a lot of flavor. So again, any comments, suggestions, questions, leave them below. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. This video is brought to you in part by TCGplayer.com. We looked at 4 pretty sweet commanders today, but we have to focus on one for this segment, and I think we're going to focus on Sisters of Stone Death. I just love that card, the brutality, the meanness, it's perfect. And the best part is $2.50, that's so cheap. She's only ever been printed once in original Ravnica, so maintaining that price is pretty sick. If you want a copy of the Golgari Menace, be sure to click the little icon on the screen. It helps the channel. We all win. Enjoy.